Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm the TheUKExpat and I'm going to be taking you all on an epic weekend adventure to Istanbul, Turkey, my first time in the city. Let's go! So I caught an early morning flight over from London. Best of all, this getaway to Turkey cost me less than £100. On arrival in Istanbul, I checked into my accommodation located in the historic Sultan Ahmet district. Istanbul, Turkey. Just got here. So far, I've been very impressed. It's got a very beautiful city, great architecture. It feels European, but not quite, with a very unique, almost Middle Eastern feel to it. So far, loving it. I then watched the sunset over the famous Bosphorus Strait, which divides Istanbul into its European and Asian sections. I then took the time to explore the city some more, seeing the lit up Süleymaniye Mosque and Galata Tower lit up at night. That was all for my first day in Istanbul. The next morning, it was time to check out one of Istanbul's headline attractions, the famous Hagia Sophia Mosque. Coming to you live. Behind me, you can see, I'm in the famous Hagia Sophia. Originally a cathedral, then a museum, and now a mosque, Hagia Sophia is known for its Byzantine artwork. Exploring the streets of Istanbul, Turkey. Behind me, you can see the Hagia Sophia Mosque. After Hagia Sophia, it was time to explore the city and head to the bazaars to find some great Turkish food for lunch. I headed to this legendary spot called Durumsu Raif Usta. There, they had a charcoal grill, chilies, epic meat, and they were doing everything from scratch. Look at those seasonings, that was absolutely incredible. After the kebab, I went to get a legendary Turkish ice cream for dessert. Did you know that as they're made from an extract from an orchid plant, they don't melt? And yes, the ice cream man did play some pranks on the patrons. After that, it was on to the next big attraction of the day, the famous Blue Mosque. The architecture here in Turkey is absolutely beautiful. And behind me, the Blue Mosque, arguably the second most famous building in Istanbul after Hagia Sophia. After the Blue Mosque, I decided to make my way up to Galata, home to one of Turkey's most famous attractions. And behind me is Galata Tower. Built way back in 1348 as a watchtower, Galata Tower is now iconic of Istanbul. I love the pastel colours of the neighbourhood alongside with the architecture, really complemented this epic spot. After exploring Galata, it was time to head to the next spot of Istanbul. This is the legendary Taksim Square. Caught the famous red tram down to the riverbank. Here, on the banks of the Bosphorus, I had possibly the best kebab of my entire life. I then decided I'd catch the ferry over and see what the Asian side of Istanbul was like. Remember that Istanbul is actually divided into a European side that I was just on and an Asian side. Catching the boat over to the Asian side of Istanbul. Departing the European side, and what you can see over there in the background is Asia. So technically, I'm about to go to Asia for the 6th time in my life. I arrived on the Asian side just after sunset.
So, I'm over here on the Asian side of Istanbul. 5th time in my life that I've made it over here to Asia. So yeah, it definitely has a different feel to it than the European side. I'd say it's much more of a nightlife style place as opposed to over the European side. It's a bit more, might sound bad, I feel like it's a little bit dirtier than the European side of Istanbul. But yeah, it's good to get to Asia again.
I decided it was then time to catch the ferry back to the European side of Istanbul where I was staying. On the way back, I spotted this beautiful building. So decided I had to explore a little bit. The next morning, I got up and headed back to the Galata neighborhood as I loved it so much.
It's me, the UKExpat, and behind me you can see the Galata Tower here in Istanbul, Turkey.
I then went and got some delicious Turkish pastries for my breakfast. After that, it was time to head to the Topkapi Palace, one of the most famous attractions in all of Istanbul. I was amazed by the awesome gardens and gold-leafed architecture. Topkapi Palace houses treasures and beautiful architectures stemming from the Byzantine and Ottoman eras.
And behind me is Baghdad Pavilion. Let's go check it out. I'm inside Baghdad Pavilion, and inside here it's absolutely magnificent. The mosaics, the artwork, the stained glass. Wow. And behind me we can see the Bosphorus Straits, and all the way in the back of me, in the distance, you can see the Bosphorus Bridge, which connects Asia and Europe. And behind me is the Imperial Hall.
I was completely mesmerized by the beauty of Topkapi Palace. Wow, look at the mosaics. That concluded my adventure in Istanbul. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more epic content.